All right, let's talk about AI. We've all heard the hype, right? But today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. I'm going to show you a practical process, a real method for turning any AI from a hype machine into a super powerful and, more importantly, reliable research assistant.
So have you ever done this? You ask an AI a really serious question. You're looking for solid info, and what you get back is just this wall of generic, unhelpful text. Total fluff. There are no sources, nothing you can actually check. It's so frustrating, right? It makes you wonder, are these things good for anything besides writing a clever email?
But here's the thing. What if the problem isn't really the tool itself? What if it's us? What if it's the process we're using? See, getting quality, trustworthy information from AI doesn't mean we need a fancier AI. It means we need a much better method.
Okay, so before we dive into the solution, let's spend a minute on the problem. Let's really break down why our typical questions fail so badly. Why do we keep getting, well, garbage back?
This right here, this is the classic mistake. We ask the AI to make the decision for us. A question like, what should I do about remote work policies? Well, that's just begging for a generic, bulleted list of pros and cons. It's totally context-free, it could apply to literally anyone. And because of that, it's pretty much useless. Plus, and this is the big one, there are zero sources to back it up.
So to fix this, we need a huge shift in how we think. We have to stop treating AI like some kind of magic 8-ball that has all the answers and start treating it like what it actually is, a really, really capable research assistant.
And that shift is actually pretty simple, but it's so powerful. You stop asking, what should I do? And you start asking, help me understand what I'm seeing. You see the difference? You stop outsourcing your own brain power. Instead, you're asking the AI to arm you with the information you need to make your own smart decision. You go from being passive to being an active investigator.
And here's a little mantra to remember through all of this. You're the director. AI is the assistant. You stay in control. That's it. You're the one with the context, the expertise, the critical thinking. The AI's job is to go out and gather the raw materials for you. You are always, always in the driver's seat.
Okay, so now that we've got that mindset locked in, let's build a practical framework around it. I'm talking about a simple, 4-part process that's going to help you craft prompts that deliver actual, high-quality, verifiable research, not that junk fluff we talked about. So, here are the 4 steps. Super straightforward. 1. State what you already know. 2. Share your working theory. 3. Pinpoint your knowledge gaps. And 4. Request targeted research. Let's walk through what each of these looks like in practice.
All right, step 1. State what you already know. Why do this? Well, it's simple. It stops the AI from wasting your time telling you stuff you've already got covered. It immediately focuses its attention on the edge of your knowledge, which is exactly where you need the help.
So let's take an example. Imagine a teacher. They could start their prompt with something like this. I understand my 7th grade students struggle with organizing thoughts about how they use AI in written assignments. See? They're grounding the whole thing in a real-world observation. That fact becomes the bedrock for the entire request.
Okay, on to step 2. Share your working theory. Now, this isn't about proving you're right. The point is to give the AI crucial context. You're essentially telling it, here's why I'm asking this, and here's the angle I'm coming from. It helps the AI really get the intent behind your search.
So, back to our teacher. They might add, I think AI tools might help through feedback during writing rather than generating content. Boom. That one little sentence completely directs the AI search. Now it's looking for studies on feedback in revision, not just generic stuff about plagiarism.
Now, step 3. This is where the magic really happens. We all know that vague questions get vague answers. So the secret here is to be super, super precise about what you don't know. This is how you go from just being kind of curious to being a focused investigator.
So check out the difference. Our teacher isn't asking some vague question like, what works? No way. They're asking for specific evidence. I need clarity on whether AI-assisted writing instruction has been studied in middle school settings. They want to know, have the studies been done? What did they find? These are real, answerable research questions.
And finally, step 4, request targeted research. This is where you lay down the law. You give your assistant direct orders. You tell it exactly what kind of information you need and the standards it has to meet. You are defining what success looks like. Just look at how precise this is. The teacher's asking it to research evidence-based approaches, include peer-reviewed studies, provide complete citations and methodological details. This is your quality control. You're not just asking for claims, you're demanding proof.
Okay, so you've done it. You crafted the perfect prompt, and the AI comes back with a ton of information. But, and this is a big but, your job isn't over. Not even close. Now comes the most important part. You, the director, have to evaluate everything to make sure it's actually reliable. So what does a quality output look like? It's all about clear documentation. If it's an academic study, you want to see a DOI link and its methodology. If it's an industry report, you need to know who paid for it. An expert opinion, you should be able to see their affiliation. This is the stuff that separates real research from just random internet noise.
And you've got to remember, not all sources are created equal, not by a long shot. Peer-reviewed research, that's the gold standard because it's been checked by other experts. Industry reports can be useful, for sure, but you have to watch for commercial bias. An expert analysis is great for context, but it's an opinion, not raw data. You've got to weigh each source for what it is.
So you need to be on the lookout for red flags. If a source is hiding its methods, or if it's making claims that just sound way too good to be true, you need to be skeptical. Remember, the AI just gathers the stuff. Your critical thinking is the part that can't be replaced.
All right, so we've covered the mindset shift, the four-part framework, and how to evaluate the results. Now let's just quickly pull it all together and talk about how to make this process stick so it becomes a habit for any big decision you have to make.
The best way to make this process stick is to actively avoid these common traps. First, never ever just rely on the AI's summary. Go read the original source yourself. Actively look for evidence that disagrees with your theory. That's often where the best learning happens. And whatever you do, don't skip the most crucial step of all, really identifying what you don't know.
And really, that's what this all boils down to. This process puts you 100% in the driver's seat. You define the questions, you evaluate the evidence, and you make the final decisions. By shifting from asking for answers to asking for evidence, you get to use all the incredible power of AI without ever giving up your own critical thinking. You just become a smarter researcher and a way more confident decision maker. So the only question left is, what are you going to investigate first?